Well, part of the new no-fault law went into effect earlier this month, and it impacts your liability. So Tom Sinas joins us today to explain the important changes, and if you think about maybe adjusting your insurance policies. Tom, a lot to think about here.
There's a lot to think about, a lot to talk about, and we certainly can't cover it all in one segment.
Right.
But what I want to do, maybe over the next few weeks and months, is to talk about some of the changes to this law that have gone into effect immediately.
Sure.
There are some that don't take effect until later, but some that took effect the day this law went into effect, which was June 11th, 2019.
There you go.
Remember that date. So one of the things that went into effect was a very substantial change regarding out-of-state residents. So what did the law used to be? The law used to be, generally speaking, out-of-state residents, if they were injured in an automobile accident in Michigan, they could get no-fault benefits, which, as we've talked about, includes most significantly their medical expenses. Okay. What was important about this for Michiganders meant that Michiganders were never liable for an out-of-state resident's medical expenses if the Michigander caused the accident.
They weren't liable. It would come out of the big old pot of money, essentially.
Right. The out-of-state resident would go somewhere else. All right. What happened? Well, when the legislature and the governor passed this bill, they eliminated entirely the right of out-of-state residents to get no-fault benefits at all. Those out-of-state residents are excluded, which means they can't go to a no-fault insurer for their medical expenses. And what that means for Michiganders is that as of now, as of June 11th, if you cause an accident and you injure an out-of-state resident, you are now personally liable for the injured person's medical expenses. And this never happened in the history of our state over the last 40 some odd years when we had our old no-fault system. So this is a really important time of year to talk about this, not only because this just went into effect, but think about how often we see out-of-state residents along the lakeshore. Or how many out-of-state residents do we have living in college towns? How many cities in our state border other states? A lot, right? So Michiganders are interacting with out-of-state residents all the time, and now all of a sudden we have a substantial potential amount of liability. So what do you do? My advice is that you call your insurance agent and you say, I need to increase my liability insurance, my liability insurance, to as much as you can afford and as much as they will sell you. Because if heaven forbid something happens, we Michiganders are no longer immune from claims by out-of-state residents for their medical expenses. And I think everybody knows that after a serious injury, that is the biggest form of liability that we all carry now.
A lot to consider for sure. Where do people track it down?
They can find us online at www.sinusdramus.com. Shoot us an email at info@sinusdramus.com or give us a call in West Michigan at 616-301-3333.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Derek.